I got this all machined and bolted in tight. I'm clearing everything real good. This U-joint here is weld to weld, so it's not it's kind of hard to get out. You got to loosen up both of these heim joints, but it's all real good and solid. I had to put another brace right here because as strong as I thought that was, it was still bending. I might have to put another one. It's still flexing a little. But it all looks good. Looks like I've kind of pulled this out to the end of my travels here. But this bottom one can move back up. I got a lot of splines on there. I think it's workable. And had an idea. I got this this is a guard off a grinder. It just happens to be about the right size, and it's got a clamping type device in it. And I thought I'd just bolt that right into the dash there. So it's kind of like the brake shoe. Anybody that knows what it is will laugh, but it'll work. I've got enough room here on my steering wheel to clear the dash with my fingers. So basically, that's all I got to do now is get this top bolted in. I can see the wheels turn now just by moving it, and it don't feel like it's got any slack in it other than, of course, what's going on up here. So anyway, I'm gonna see if I can put a bolt in here, and I know it's going to take two, so I might as well plan on two. That's pretty good. Covers up the hole and everything. Looks like I probably need to bend it a little because it's not the right angle. I haven't really decided what I'll do yet. I may put that other professionally made one in there, but it don't have a clamp on it, and this one does. Plus, I kind of like to use tools as parts. Well, this situation here is far stronger. And you can see the tire there. But the slack I got is from here to here, a couple inches, and that's all in that steering box. But it feels good, and I can turn the wheels pretty easy, and I can where I adjust my bolts lets me know the up and down position of the wheel. So right now it's pretty close to the dash. Probably good enough. And if I bolt this in like this, it's not perfectly parallel to the shaft. So when I clamp it, it's putting pressure downward on the shaft and holding it. I really don't want to weld this onto the shaft. I might have to, but it's got a stop down there in the bottom that keeps the shaft from pulling out and in, and up here on top it's against the bearings. So, and I tighten that up down in the floorboard. There's no play in any of that, and I'm able to turn the wheel even with one hand. Well, it's pretty tight. You can hear the tires out there. See, I just twisted my little bracket here, but it's just clamped in with vice grips, and I know I got low tires, so it might be a handful in the parking lot trying to turn it around. But all of my linkage and stuff, I got maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch in the wheel, and you can see that just that little bit of turning is actually moving the steering all the way down to the bottom. And you can see down there in that bottom one, that's the shaft is turning, but the steering box isn't. So anyway, that looks like that's going to be the deal. I'll bore a couple holes in that and mark it, cut it off. I'll probably cut it right in here somewhere. I don't need it sticking way up there and taking up that whole dash. And put a couple bolts in it, maybe 3. I think 3 would be better, and to give it a much better chance of not rotating. And that should finish the steering. And there she blows. I got that in almost perfect, plenty good. 3 bolts in it, it's solid. I wound up tack welding it in 3 places, and it's really solid. You can see how much plays in all of those U-joints there. Maybe a 1/4 of an inch, and it's plenty strong. I can turn the wheels either way. I don't know where I've got the wheel aligned. If it's not straight, then down there on the bottom I can move it over a couple splines or something, but I straighten them up where they look pretty good. But anyway, there's this wheels in, and it's real tight. It ain't going nowhere. You can muscle it around, and all the U-joints are real good. Got them right up to the end of my splines. Good welds. All this is tight. These are good welds. That's right at the end of the spline. And that's at the end of the spline. So there might be a 1/4 of an inch adjustment in it. I thought I was going to have to brace this bracket a little better, but it's not flexing at all. This brace I put on it was good enough. I was thinking about putting another one right here, but it's holding fine. I guess I should have painted the motor before I did all this. I didn't. Who knows, I'll just pressure wash it and it may clean up pretty good, and touch it up where I can with a spray can. But the steering is in. It's still got a lot of a lot of play down there in that box. I'm hoping that when I take this off of here, I may be able to tighten it up. I may do that right now since I'm working on it. Looks like we got some, well, that's just water. It rained out here last night a little. But anyway, there's Mr. Steering in. It was kind of a strange contraption, but I can get it out and get it back in by taking parts of it apart. It's not one of these deals where I welded it in and you can't get it out. So far, that's good. Steering wheel is a little close to the dash, but your hand won't hit it, and so it's a compromise of the best I could do there. Since I'm working on the front end, I just went ahead and jacked this thing up and knocked this lock nut loose, and I tightened that about 1/8 of a turn, and my adjuster here all of a sudden was actually only moving about 1/4 of a turn, which is what it should be. And I got it locked to lock. It's a little tight right in the middle, which normally it's a little loose right in the middle. So I backed this off, and the wheels turn good now, and they're responding. You know, the shaft is moving just a little bit and the tire's moving at the same time, so the slop has gone out of there. It's pretty easy to turn. Probably needs grease, of course, but that should do it. And this little adjuster here, it looks like it ran itself down in there tight. Right there would be tight, so I'm going to back it up just a little. I'm going to hold it with both hands here. Hang on. So I basically just put it where it's touching, back it up about 1/16 of a turn, hold it with my screwdriver, tighten it up, and that should give me, yeah, it's a little better. And we're still tight. And there's a little play in that box. To be expected. From what I've read on the internet, these S10s can get 1/4 of a turn slop in them. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and hammer that thing back closed again. This might not even have any oil in it. From the looks of it, probably don't. But that'll be a project for another day. Clean this all up and fill it with oil. I'm just going to tighten this locking ring now and see what we got. That all tightened up. It's real easy to turn, obviously. There's nothing, no weight on it. There's all the way to the left. Yeah, I got a little tight right in the middle. All the way to the right. So we got 1, 2, getting tight, 3, 4, almost 5 turns. 4 3/4. So there's 1, 2, 2 3/8. Maybe a 1/4 plus 1/8. Looks like, I guess, pretty straight. Pretty good where the straight is in that wheel. Got a little slop, but it's in this quick change. I'm gonna go ahead and whip it over here to the left and see if my back of my fender's interfering, because it was bolted on where it's supposed to go. No, it's fine. Well, good. Of course, it's all jacked up right now. Let's see what happens when I let it down. Well, I'm still probably hit if I hit a bump, but all the way steered. I'm gonna put some air in these tires and see how hard it is to steer. These things had like 10 pounds of air in them. It's not hidden, but it's 1/8 of an inch. As the other tire airs up, it probably will hit. So I'll have to do a little work on that. This tire was really low. Got 25 in it now. I'll take it up to 35 like the other one. Well, put some air in it. It's not power steering, but I can turn the tires. You can see them move there with one hand. Need to probably put a little lubricant in there. Just happen to have some here. I don't know which one of these bearings is making noise. Doesn't make any difference. Yeah. Good enough. And tightening up that box made the front end work pretty good. So looks like I got a done deal here for the steering. Now that this tube is welded up, it's not rotating, and so I can mount my turn signal on that. And it's kind of the end of a, I don't know what's squeaking. I'll find it somewhere. And this is probably not the final tightening of anything. I have to make a piece of a floorboard down there for that bearing. Finish bolting this floorboard in. I got to make a shifter, or make some shifter brackets. Yeah, I thought I had a deal there, $100 for a shifter. I had a lot of brackets. I thought I'd be able to figure it out. Nothing fits anything. I'm just gonna just start bolting stuff that'll look kind of close and then just weld it all together. I got my 2 Holley gaskets for Mr. Carbonator there. I don't know if they're the right ones. I hope they are. If so, that carburetor will stop leaking. Well, the gasket was the wrong one. I figured it was, but I was able to cut some of it out, and really the only important part is that accelerator pump squirter there. That's the only thing that's really got a seal, and I got it where it's going on 3 of the pins, and it's right up the edge of the carburetor, and my accelerator pump hole here looks like it's kind of lining up. It may not be the greatest, but it's close enough to pump, I think, and it's going to seal it all the way around. I took some carburetor cleaner and cleaned it all up. Cleaned the gasket up anyway. Now this little plastic thing up here, I don't know what that is. Probably some kind of a splash preventer or something. But I think this should stop my leak. That's really the only thing that I need to do, is make sure I got a hole here for the accelerator pump, and the hole looks like it's lining up. I'll check it again and bolt this thing on, and I should be good to go. Now I cranked it over a while, and looks like the squirters are squirting good. I don't see no leaks down here. Now let's see if we can fire it up. Put you here on the old truck. Probably fall off there and break. No leaks. Not a drop. So I guess modifying the gasket will work. Well, I got the carburetor fixed and the steering done. I'm about to call it quits on Sunday. So like and subscribe, guys, and we'll see you next video.